Hello guys, welcome back to the Crew Wildrun. Driving all cars, part number 27, the Ruf CTR-3. Now, the Rufs are, most of the time they are tuned Porsches, and well, I'm not even sure what this is. It's not really the 911 because that's the RT35. It's not really the Cayman because that is the 3400K, but it's something in that order. It's like a Cayman with a body kit around it or something, sort of an own construction of a Ruf. That's what it is. Yeah, it has a couple of specs, although not that many. It has a performance specs in for the normal ones, and for the extreme it has a drag and a drift spec. Also here, nothing wrong with the dials and numbers, so might be possible that they have patched in the latest maintenance. But as mentioned already in a couple of videos, I still have to test that. There were a few dials and numbers invisible after the latest patch, where they came up with lightning when you drove into a tunnel, and the lights go out when you go back out of the tunnel. But that means they kinda ruined them during the daylight, where you could not see what was on the dials or the numbers. Gauges or culture or whatever it's called. The performance spec, well, nothing special about it, just as always some different bumpers if available, or an extra spoiler or an extra wing or something. Extreme specs, it has two, the drift and the drag. This is a drift, almost the same, different, bit darker color. Don't have a big wing on it, just a little spoiler in carbon, and also in front. And I changed the skirts a bit. It doesn't have plate apparently. Just so. Was this a drift spec? Well, why not? Asphalt. Let's put that one on. I don't know, I thought I had plates on all my cars, but recently I discovered that some of them don't have a plate. The drag car, as always I'm using official rims and colors, and by the looks of it, sort of the same color as the performance, so probably it doesn't have that of many official colors. Of course, parachute and the crew license plate. So also here I need something tuned up. Well, yeah, most likely it's pretty tuned up if it's a drag car. Power it will have. It's just not a drag car. As a matter of fact, it's the best there is. If you do a solo run, the CTR-3 is the best drag car. But well, I'm gonna take out the drift spec for only one reason. I haven't changed the settings back yet, so they are still on drift settings. That's why we're gonna start with the drift in this stage. This video mostly has to do with the acceleration testing, but there is only one to test, that is the performance. Since it only has one normal spec. So we start with the extreme spec this time, and I don't know, body kit might be a problem here. The score of this car is 780, so apparently used it a couple of times and won a couple of parts, but not that many yet. By doing these practice events, since this is sort of for the summit, in case if some of the new players are watching this, if you do these practice events, you will always get a platinum reward, on one condition of course, that is that you are level 50. You need to be level 50, in other words you need to finish the story first before you can start getting platinum rewards and parts. But yeah, I don't know, I always thought that the first thing that you would do if you buy a game that comes with a story, you finish the story, but apparently that's not the case. I see people out there who are level 25 or level 30 or whatever. I bought the game I think on a Thursday on a Friday night. I played it all weekend, and by Sunday night the story was finished and I was level 50. But apparently not everybody do that. So first finish the story so that you can get your hands on all things in this game. And if you do summit events, which you can only do if you have the wild run, of course, but most people have that by now, I guess. You always get a platinum reward from this. And that means not like with jumps where you can win hoods and bumpers and color parts and whatever. That's not going to be the case here. You're going to win performance parts first, and then if you get them all, then you start getting hoods and bumpers and stuff like that. Meanwhile, while I was talking, I kept the multiplier pretty high to 77. The reason I didn't get it at 99 is probably because for this it's not 12.99, so not that much speed. I'm thinking comparing it with the RT, and my feeling is that the RT is a little bit better. CTR-3 you can definitely use it in drift, as just shown. I didn't lose the multiplier anywhere. But the RT felt to go a bit smoother. Maybe it's a bit lighter, I don't know. But also not a big problem with this one in drift. But I think I would rather upgrade the RT to 12.99 than this one. Eventually I will upgrade them all, because I kinda wanna have all the cars at 12.99, which I do, except for the drift specs, but we'll see. Moving to the drag spec, which is definitely going to be the best use for the extreme specs, for the simple reason it's the best drag spec. There are 10 drag specs in this game, and this is the last video in which I cover a car that has a drag spec. That's why I did them now. So it's video 18 to 27, which this one is 27. Those are all cars that have a drag spec. The reason I did that so that I can test them on this practice trial thing. So the fastest in the latest video, 21.938 for the Ruf RT35, which was the best time at that time. Normally on a shorter track the Viper is a bit faster than the RT35. This time it was the other way around. And also the 370Z is somewhere in that area. But if you take this thing out on most of the tracks, in a solo run you will always have the best time, unless you mess up, crash, or have 3 bad shifts or a bad burn or something, but otherwise you're always going to kinda crash the time, as you can see here. 21.8, that is like 21.9 in the RT, so it's already 1/10 faster. As always, 3 runs, and I'm testing it here by pressing the nitro at 3 times a different RPM. So 6,000 this time. I've done 6,500 in the first run, and in the last run I will go to 7,000, which will probably be a bit too late, but so there's a good chance that the first run with 6,500, where I hit the RPM meter, 6,500 RPM, I hit the nitro, and that was 21.8. This time we did 6,000 RPM, and that's a bit slower, 21.96, so that's not good. And now we're going a bit over the, going to 7,000. What is the difference between this one and the RT? Probably top speed. The RT can do about 600, 607, something in that area, This one can do 618, not in solo, but if you're going to play in a crew or something with a little slipstream or drop from your friends. But in solo, not sure what the top speed in solo is, but it's always going to be the best. You can try all drag cars on most of the tracks, and you take this thing out and the other ones don't come to the same towns. And now that I'm thinking of it, this is definitely the best use in extreme specs, but normal spec, the performance is not that good. So, which means that the best use for this car is going to be the drag anyway. Not gonna put up a best use for the normal cars because there's only one, and that's the performance, and it's not even that good. So no. The best drag car in the game, if you do solo runs, is this one. In a crew, it's a bit differently. You can use this as well to help your friends out, especially on longer tracks. If they take the Mustang, which can do 40 kilometers an hour more with slipstream, then the Mustang can score. That's how we usually do it. Team of 3 or 4 people, and we switch up. Some of us use Viper or one of the Ruf's fast accelerating cars. We get ahead, give a slipstream to one of our friends. They hit the nitro and get the slipstream, 655 kilometers an hour, and they will fly by and finish in a faster time. Of course, you need to find a team that has a bit of time to do that, so that you can switch up, that everybody can get a couple of runs in the Mustang that way. But if solo, definitely, if you're doing a run by yourself, don't even think about it, just get out the Ruf CTR-3, because it's the best. Performance, not really. We'll see in the acceleration test, but not that good. What did we have with the RT? A 23.8, and that was only somewhere in the middle of the pack. We got a couple of cars tested meanwhile. We are video 27, and most of those videos, most of the cars have a performance spec. The fastest, the Aston Vanquish, 22.8. The slowest, somewhere 25 seconds for the one of the Cadillacs, I think. Yeah, the Eldorado, 25.2. And this one has 23.7, 1/10 faster than the RT. So the same as in drag, there it's also 1/10 faster. But the RT in performance spec was also not that brilliant, and it's the same with this one. You can hang out with it in free drive, you're not gonna do miracles with it in PvP. Unless it's Summit PvP and you have to use it, then you get the car, then well, then you have to deal with it. But it's the same for all there then. But in League PvP you can choose your car, and if you're gonna show up with this thing, you're gonna get a little bit smoked by Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Paganis and you name it. Acceleration, not that good. Let's see how it handles. Kinda okay response, although we ended up off-road there. But yeah, you can see it, you can feel it. The acceleration is a bit too slow. Left to right. That's why I do the quick responses, so I sort of try to see if you can dodge traffic with it pretty easy or not. Brakes. Brakes seem to be pretty good. I was sort of steering into the corner as I would do with the other cars, and I was steering before the corner. So pretty decent brakes. Seen it doesn't have that good of an acceleration. We are going slower here, which kinda makes it normal we dive into the corners better, but Handling in general is not that bad. Although we have to use it lately in one of the summit events, and well, it oversteers a bit, and that oversteer sometimes comes by surprise. And if you don't react or correct the car immediately, then you might just spin out. But the biggest problem for this thing is probably the acceleration, though. Not that it's that slow. If you compare it with the others, it's somewhere in the middle of the pack, but the feeling is that it is slower. No, the RT35, it's not that good, but I think that's still better than this one though. So if you need a rough, you want to drive a rough or a tuned Porsche in performance spec, I would go for the RT. Oh, yep. Speed-wise, sort of the same as the other one, 395, 396. Also not a miracle. The better performance specs go over 400 on that section. It's some sort of body kit which is around this car and doesn't give you the problem to hit stuff like fences or something. Just go through it. But yeah. All in all, it's not that bad, but it completely misses the acceleration and you feel it while you're driving it. So others are taking off in a car with good acceleration after every corner. That's where you probably will lose the most time. Coming out of the corners every time, bit of a problem. So no, not advisable this performance spec. What is advisable by far is the drag spec, seeing it is the best in this game if you do solo runs. I will see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.